Hi everyone, delonewolf here and welcome back for the Sunday recap, my weekly vlog where I talk a little bit about my last week in games. And of course we'll start with EVE Online, that is basically getting ready for the eclipse, for the final chapter in the invasion storyline. I personally can't wait for it, and I was pretty happy that I could join the mass test for mostly actually the gate transition, so a new graphical effect that CCP is hoping to introduce on TQ pretty soon, where you can see your ship fly through the warp tunnel when you take a gate as well. I think it's working all right. Definitely didn't spot any performance problems or anything like that. And overall, yeah, hoping that it will finally make its way to TQ, because months ago we already had a couple of tests around this feature before. Now of course the main part here is that the eclipse should be hitting us next week. Triglavians should be going into high gear, and we really don't know what all of that will bring. I'm pretty damn excited for it. Next to that, I did a little bit of exploration as well, found a few good sites and managed to get some decent loot out of that as well. Went into a few emerging conduits as well. It's something that I still do from time to time, just slowly building up those loyalty points with the DED, trying to get those skins. Also something, I'm not sure if we'll just be able to keep doing that when the eclipse hits, but hopefully we will. And next to that, of course, we still have the regular stuff like PI, which I do daily. Right now I'm hoarding all of my stuff because pretty much everything that I'm producing is down in price, well below average. Even coolants are now suffering, mechanical parts, it's all really not doing too well. So I'm not flooding the market with even more stuff. I'm holding on to it, hoping to sell at a better time later down the line. And then we have the blueprint copy business, which, well, we're still turning over goods, so we're definitely getting sales through the contracts of my BPCs, but the prices have gone down from a couple of weeks ago. And this is both for the structures that are now like 7 million-ish for most structure BPCs, and also the capital ships have gone down in price, like probably 9.9 million is what I usually try to be certain of a sale. And a couple of weeks ago there were some of them at least that were going for close to 30 million, 20 million, things like that. So I do see a bit of a decline in my profits there, but as long as we're turning over product, I do feel like it's a worthwhile endeavor. It is pretty passive, of course. Once a week I set up the blueprint copies, and then only once a week I have to go to Jita, put the contracts up, and try to sell them at the best possible price. I could do that more often because we are selling decently quickly, but this is generally my pace for the blueprint copies. And then of course, yeah, quick reiteration, the eclipse is coming, the Triglavians are coming back. The Arataka Research Consortium had like a massive paper on which systems they believe will be prioritized by the Triglavians, mostly centering around the most powerful stars, the blue stars in EVE Online. I think Dital is a little bit out of the way, so we should be fine to basically have a base of operations where we can see what's happening and then make our decisions. But it's also pretty certain that as players we'll have to choose a side here. Do we support Edencom, which is Concord and the Four Empires, or do we choose the side of the Triglavians? Those exact mechanics we don't know. I like that aspect. CCP is gonna just bring it on TQ and we'll have to experience it ourselves. Hopefully there won't be too many bugs, but I look forward to seeing how all of that develops and then seeing what kind of choices we can make. That makes sense for Co-Incorporated and for my playstyle, but it promises to shake things up quite substantially in EVE Online. And next to my time in EVE Online, I also spent a little bit of time in Total War Warhammer 2. So there's a new DLC out that's basically green skins against a high elf character. I think it looks pretty interesting, but I definitely wanted to revisit the game just a little bit because there were some other reworkings. There's in fact quite a few free DLC now that I haven't gotten, haven't tried yet. That could be pretty interesting, but I saw that the green skins got a pretty big rework with the patch as well. the walk would work differently and things like that. So I tried to get that going. Unfortunately, I built up the meter to get that walk ready for deployment, and then when I want to use it, it kept crashing my game. So I just decided I wanted a little bit more. I went back for their exact opposites, I'm gonna say, which is the dwarfs. In my opinion, they are really sturdy, very nice defensive playstyle, which I do really like. They also have that very powerful early game, like really cheap siege that they can have, which I do really like. And you can basically really easily create a line of sturdy dwarven soldiers, and then behind that you get all that range and those cheap catapults, everything firing at the enemy as they try to approach. That is my playstyle in Total War Warhammer 2. So I'm doing one of the Mortal Empires campaigns, I think, at the moment with the dwarves. My main hero is also a dwarf that wields his two-handed axe, and he's really good at just taking health away from the enemy heroes. So I feel like it's a very strong faction that works well with my turtle playstyle, which I personally enjoy. Had some pretty cool battles there at the moment, and we actually rolled over quite a few enemies at this point. I'm actually allying myself with the other dwarves as well. Usually I don't pay too much attention to diplomacy and things like that in Total War Warhammer 2. I try to just conquer everything, but for the dwarves, you know, my dwarf brethren do get a place by my side as my allies. Those guys have been going wild with trying to go to war with many different factions, but we're sticking by their side. Also gave me the opportunity to go after some extra cities and things like that. It's still a great game. The DLC download claim thing is still a big mess. Honestly, it tends to like open up a Steam window, and then you should know that I've got Steam. I need to confirm that it doesn't work. So I was actually planning at first to try some other DLC as well. I just don't find a good way to download those efficiently at the moment. So as a result, we're back to the tried and true Dwarven Empires in Total War Warhammer 2. It's gonna be a pretty short interlude, of course. Next week we have the Eclipse with EVE Online. That's going to take quite a bit of focus. And I also saw on the Path of Exile subreddit that next week we should get quite a bit of information on the upcoming leak, the upcoming patch for Path of Exile. Another fresh start, definitely planning to give that a go as well when that hits the servers, and hopefully this time I can try to again stick around a little bit longer with a single character. Basically what did me in for this league is the instability. There were just too many crashes that I was experiencing personally to say, alright, I'm gonna keep building on this character and try to get to that next phase of endgame, which I've never gotten to. So hopefully we get a bit more of a stable league this time, so that I can try a character and can try to push it beyond what I've actually been able to do before in Path of Exile. So I look forward to all of that, and I look forward to keeping you guys up to date, of course. See you guys in New Eden next week. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.